Okay, this is Dennis Seatsma, my video log for December 5th, 2022, December 5th, 2022. I think this is segment 2, might be 3, I don't know. But anyway, point I want to make about fluids is regular oil changes are important, but if you don't know the history of a vehicle, the worst thing you can do is throw an additive in there to clean the gunk out. I did that myself once and destroyed an engine. Because if it's a grandma's car, been sitting in the garage because grandpa died 20 years ago, grandma don't drive, or she's got friends that do, or whatever the situation, it sat for years and years, and they didn't do coolant or oil changes or power they didn't do the fluids, they didn't do the services because it was was tucked away in hibernation. So you come along later and you either buy or acquire the vehicle and you throw something to loosen up the gunk. Next thing you know, all the oil passages are clogged, maybe. Like I'm trying to show you here on this one valve. We had a lot of carbon around it for some reason. The others didn't, but this one did. And of these cooling ports, one was fully obstructed on this side, or it was partially obstructed on the starboard side. On the port side, it was completely obstructed. So whatever cooling we had wasn't efficient in the rear part of the engine. So we've already gained something by clearing those ports manually. This stuff was so caked in there that all the coolant changes in the world wouldn't have cleared that out. It has to be done like I'm doing it now, with disassembly and inspection and cleaning and reassembly. Hopefully, I'm letting some time pass because I put that question on social media. If you want to start a dumpster fire online, what's the best way to do anything? What's the best product? You can ask a question like, what's the best penetrating fluid in the world? What do you like? Well, this is a video log. I'm not telling you what's the best. I'm telling you this is how I do it. And this is my experience, not the world's. But I like this Cano KR oil penetrating fluid, and I finally worried that one bolt out of there. I don't know if you can see it with this lighting, and you know, cinematographers talk a lot about lighting and the daylight, because the time of year and the angle of the sun and all that does affect what you see on the camera. And I never really paid too much attention to that till I started doing YouTube videos. But you see that front bolt is cleared out now. I got the stud. You know, what's left of it here. Stud. This is actually a bolt that the head came off. So I got to run to town and find a 14mm bolt, the same threads, which is why I saved the old one. And so I can compare a good one with a bad one and figure out the threads. It's probably a M8 or M10 or probably standard metric size. Almost everything on these American cars, when they made the switch to metric, went to metric everything. There's some exceptions to that rule, but so anyway, I'm giving a little time for that to cook and bake on social media, and hopefully get a phone call from the companies and tell me what's the best. I had to call Felpro too and ask him, do I have the right gasket? Is this the best gasket? Is this the latest gasket? And do their website and online before I start putting this back together again. Because I really only want to do this once. This is too many man hours to take it apart and put it back together again, to not pause at this part. Because I have other projects I can work on. I ran my boat engine yesterday. I thought it was ready for a sea trial, and now I got a coolant loss, and it's a massive one, so I got to ferret that out. I ordered a gasket, and I got a seawater elbow, a spare one, a good but used one for troubleshooting. I'm going to swap that out and see if the cooling leak goes away, and if it does, then I'll order another one. But if I can find one, parts are getting rare for a lot of things, these older machines. So again, thank you for watching, and I got to get in with a scraper and do more cleaning here, but I'm going to break for a little while and take a little rest and then get a little food and then come back to this later today. So But I'm trying to do this once and do it right. But I think I've already gained a lot by clearing those cooling passages. And it wouldn't be a bit surprised to me if I had a coolant loss going somewhere else where it shouldn't into the engine. I didn't find any in the oil, and I checked thoroughly. When I drained the oil, I checked it for any contamination. I didn't see any. So we could have been sucking it into the engine. And I also need to do a leak down test. I've already done a compression test. And I'm talking more now because I did the shorts and I didn't get a whiz-bang response to that, so now I'm doing a more in-depth as I am actually twisting wrenches instead of planning on twist. And I'm trying to get parts, and you know, when you pay for a job, all this has to be done by the shop or the professional technician. And I'm a do-it-yourself aficionado. I am not a professional. And death or injury can result from doing this kind of work, so be careful or don't do it. If you don't think you can do it without getting hurt, and you never know, you know, but wear gloves, wear safety glasses, use floor jacks that are in good condition, jack stands. All the safety equipment has to be used when doing this kind of work, or you can. You know, it was a beautiful Sunday afternoon. I heard screaming next door, and some poor guy, car fell on him, and he had to have both his legs amputated after that. So another friend of mine almost died. He's working on the rear end. The car fell on him, and hadn't been for his little brother saving him. He saw his little brother just happened to come home and see his legs. You know, the guy was dying. He was convulsing, and you know, he's crushed, couldn't breathe. And his son, not his son, his brother, got that car off him, and he recovered fully. But man, that was close. 57 Nomad's a beautiful car, but it isn't worth your life.